Welcome to Tab Briefs, a weekly look at headlines from the world of faith for April 17, 2020. I'm Tab Content Editor Carrie McWhorter. This week's top stories are the Easter tornadoes, the effects of COVID-19 in the Black community, and fraud in the time of coronavirus. At least 30 people were killed in a deadly storm system that moved across the southeastern United States on Easter Sunday and Monday. The National Weather Service has confirmed 105 tornadoes with a combined path of 772 miles. Alabama had no deaths from the storms, but had the most confirmed tornadoes with 21, followed by Georgia with 20. 12 twisters have been confirmed in Mississippi, the state with the highest death toll as a result of the storms. 14 deaths have been confirmed in the state as of this morning. The storms hit in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, forcing residents and government officials to make tough decisions regarding safety. In Alabama, Governor Kay Ivey suspended parts of a statewide emergency order to allow storm shelters to open. Those seeking shelter were told to bring their own masks and to maintain 6 feet separation from others as they sought refuge. In North Alabama, lightning struck Shoal Creek Baptist Church shortly after noon on Sunday, catching the tall white steeple on fire. Pastor Milan LaCroix said the building would have been full of more than 200 people at the time had the pandemic not forced him to switch to online services. Several other churches and many homes were damaged, and several Alabama Baptist disaster relief teams have worked throughout the week to help with cleanup efforts. And in East Alabama, the home of the children's ministry director at First Baptist Church of White Plains burned following an apparent lightning strike. The family of 4 was not injured. As the storm recovery continues in the hardest hit states, the country and the world continue to cope with the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. And across the United States, Black clergy say the coronavirus is affecting their congregations to a larger degree than other communities. Some African American pastors are calling on government officials to take actions ranging from setting up testing sites in Black and poor communities to providing masks to low-wage essential workers, prisoners, and people living in homeless shelters. The Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, recently released a March report that showed 33% of hospitalized patients in a 14-state study were African American. Comparatively, Blacks constitute 13% of the U.S. population. In a video conference call on Wednesday, Black clergy called on leaders to provide more resources to African Americans and to focus more on humanity than the economy, with speakers noting that Black people are more likely to be essential workers. Chicago pastor and president of Repairers of the Breach, William Barber, said COVID-19 is not just a biological issue, but a sociological one as well, and said America needs to address inequalities now in order to deal with the current pandemic. Finally, this week many Americans received their economic impact payments from the federal government. The payments began arriving by electronic deposit in bank accounts on Wednesday. For some, the payments will come by paper check, beginning in May. While you are waiting for your payment, criminals are also working to get their hands on your money. The IRS wants Americans to protect themselves from scams related to their stimulus payments and offers several tips to consumers. There is no need to take any action to get your payment. The IRS will calculate and automatically send the economic impact payment to eligible taxpayers who filed tax returns for either 2019 or 2018, as well as most seniors and retirees. Paper checks will start arriving in May at the earliest. The IRS says if you get a relief check before then, or if you get a check when you're expecting a direct deposit, you should assume it's a scam. Scammers may send an official-looking check for more than you were expecting and then call and ask you to return the overpayment. But the IRS emphasizes that it will never send an overpayment, and the IRS will never ask you to send money back in cash, gift cards, or through a money transfer. The IRS also won't contact you to collect personal or bank account information. The agency advises that you hang up on calls related to you do not click on any attachments or links in emails related to the checks. Be cautious about websites and social media sites as well. You do not need to verify your payment amount with the IRS. For trusted information and updates about IRS payments, start with the IRS website devoted to economic relief payments. We'll add that information in the show notes for today's episode. And while we're on the subject of scammers, fraud experts are also noting an uptick in scams related to the coronavirus pandemic. Senior adults seem to be the major target of their efforts, but everyone could be affected. Bogus offers include free cell phones, pandemic survival kits, and personal loans. But what they have in common is they want your bank account or credit card information. To avoid being victimized, the Federal Trade Commission offers several pieces of advice. First, just hang up on robocalls. Ignore online offers for vaccinations and home test kits, as there currently are no products proven to treat or prevent this virus and no FDA-authorized home test kits. Don't open emails claiming to be from the CDC or other experts. Instead, go directly to those organizational websites for the latest information. Do your homework when it comes to donations. Don't let anyone rush you or convince you to offer donations in cash, by gift cards, or by wiring money. To learn more about scams related to the economic stimulus payments and coronavirus pandemic, follow Tab Media on social media or go to our website at tabonline.org for additional information. And those are your Tab briefs for April 17, 2020. To read more about these and other stories from the world of faith-based news, go to tabonline.org. Thanks for watching, and join us again next Friday.